We are going to unveil, unmask the official guest for today, which will be the original Don Raja, original Don of the scene. We're just waiting for him to accept my request. Hopefully, it goes through well. Nice one, DJ Riggs. What's happening, man? Yes, Ramadan is all going good. We're just waiting for Apache Indian to accept the request. And yes,
Finally.
yes, yes,
How you doing?
boss. How are you doing?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you perfect. Can you hear me? Everything fine?
Yeah, I'm not used to this Instagram thing, man. Must be for the new generation, man.
First of all, we would like to congratulate you on all the world success we've had. We'd like to welcome you to this show.
Yeah, thanks.
Just to give you a quick rundown behind the scenes, the show is basically you and I know we both understand that as a new artist, people don't have the means to find producers or studios to showcase their talent. So this is a platform for young artists, inspiring artists to come and just showcase raw talent. So whether it's someone like you, me, or anybody watching that appreciates their talent and then picks them up, uses them in a song or guides them. So this is a platform we've made for the community to show unity, and that way we can spread that love. So thank you for coming on the show.
How's it been going? Any good talent?
Oh, amazing talent! Amazing talent. I'm actually shocked that some of the talent that is so polished that is
Yeah.
already not out. You know?
Well, I mean, this is a great thing you're doing. I've always said that there's not many platforms out there for young artists, you know what I mean? And some of the radio stations are not helping. And there's no live shows. I mean, there's a platform out there, but we're not using it properly, you know what I mean? So we feel their frustration because we've been there, you know what I mean?
That's
So
100%.
respect.
So this show, what I'm gonna do, Apache, is because a lot of our fan base also joins from like mainland India, from Punjab, from different places. So मैं थोड़ी सी Punjabi च बोलना तो ना समझ तो आंदी है. If you wanna go and speak some Punjabi, please go ahead. If not, I have to do my part. Is that cool?
Carry on, man. I'll be listening to you, some of the Hindi. You're sounding good, man. I can't do the Hindi and the wow.
हिंदी भी आती है बड़ी आती है और पंजाबी जो तब पता ही था, right? So what we want to
Passion.
tell the people, Apache Indian, like, I mean, when you hear the name Apache Indian, it's like it gives us a warm feeling because I think so much of this generation and the past generation have grown up to you and being inspired by you and looking up to you. Every artist, like, you know how they say that every hip hop artist got a bit of Tupac in them. Every Desi artist has got a bit of Apache Indian in them. That's standard. That's a given, whether they admit it or not. We all know,
Big
right?
up, man. Big up.
No, of course, man. And I've been listening to you since I was 11 years old. Not to give your age or anything, but I'm an old man myself. And you came on the scene, Apache. What people want to know is, did you know as a young kid that reggae was something you wanted to do, or were you always into music and reggae just came eventually from your surroundings?
I mean, from a kid, I fell in love with reggae music. I came from a typical Asian background, Asian household, so all the Bollywood films are playing, and my mother and father from the Punjab, so the radio stations were on, the Hindi was on, so that's kind of in your ear. On the street, it was reggae, you know what I mean? The bass line was coming out from the park. So really, in your head, it's already fused. But yeah, I mean, I fell in love with reggae from a very, very early age. And I just want to be a part of that. I mean, it wasn't about this is what I want to do for the rest of my life, but definitely it was something I knew that I would love for the rest of my life, famous or not, you know what I mean? And what it was, you just want to be a part of that thing. You want to get closer to that reggae. So you're buying records. I've bought a reggae sound system. You end up behind the sound. And that's just trying to follow your passions, hobbies of that time. Not really, thinking about profession of the future, really.
So for people that don't know, I mean, obviously I know your whole history, but people that don't know, you were born and raised in Birmingham, England. Is that correct?
I was born and raised in Handsworth, Birmingham, England. And for the people that don't know about Handsworth and Birmingham, well, Birmingham as a whole, it's a very, very multicultural city. You have reggae is massive here because you had a lot of people settle here in the 50s, 60s, just like the Asians. So we kind of worked and lived hand in hand. So inspiring and conflicting sometimes, but we're inspiring each other, culture, fashion, music, whatever it may be. But going back, right back to history now, we've got an exclusive interview with you, something that you probably don't even know. is that when
Of
I
course.
traced, I said, yeah, I love reggae at 14, 15. When I really traced it back, when my mother and father went to work when I was first born, there was no nurseries. So when they went out to work, they dropped me off to the nanny next door, who
Okay.
was Jamaican. So
Okay.
for probably 8 hours a day, for first 5 years of my life, I was in a Jamaican household. Miss Codrington, everyone knows her. She was the local nanny from Jamaica. My sister went there too, um, and it was really from there. Obviously, I must have learned language, culture, sound, food, smells, whatever around me, and then probably more time there than being at home. So great influence subconsciously. Because I only kind of realized that probably about 10 years ago. I said, look at that. So people have to look back at their history. So what you see now, or 14 or 16, 18, when I was as Apache Indian, couldn't be any more real. You know what I mean? I'm learning a language, a culture. I'm mixing it with mine. I'm trying to put my own lyrics in with my culture and sound. I'm trying to give you something that wasn't really for anyone else, just for me to make sense of it all. You know what I mean? So when people say I like it, I said, wow, that's just my little style. You like that? So I'll just carry on doing that. And 30 years later, I'm still doing the same thing. So really, it's about sharing my life, not just music. Sharing my life, my words, my wisdom, my prayers, my thoughts with the people through music. So it means a lot when someone says they like that song or that lyric.
Of
So
course.
respect to everyone.
So, Apache, when you're growing up now, and I've faced these criticisms as well, and I'm sure a lot of other artists have faced this as well. I mean, people don't know your history. Like you just told me that you grew up like the first 5 years of your life, you were raised by a Jamaican nanny. So it's not like you were looking to do something that wasn't authentic. You were born around it, you were raised around it. So that was really natural coming to you. But see, people don't know that. So when we do things like reggae music being Asian, how did you deal with the backlash of a lot of people saying, "Oh, tu kaada kyun banda? Tu kaadiyan da music karta, apna desi kyun nahi karta?" You know what I mean? We all face that criticism. So how did you cope with that? Like, how did that feel? And did it inspire you, give you more motivation to do something? Like, how did you deal with that?
I mean, Howard, there wasn't a lot of that actually. There was back in the 80s, everyone's like, this clash between Asians and blacks, or racism and fighting and so on. So, and okay, well, exactly what you said. You're trying to be black, and why are you trying to do this? And it's a bad culture. And I thought, wow, you know what I mean? I thought this is the most natural, normal, real thing I'm doing. Why are you judging me? Let me do what I have to do. But then your own people is always the hardest people to please. You know what I mean? But when
Always.
songs of in your Chuck there and got into #1 in the Bhangra charts and everyone, then they're respecting you. They're thinking actually his name's Apache. He's singing about arranged marriage. He's singing about Chuck there. He's trying to put his language in. So then they start
Yeah.
to understand. I'm not trying to be black. My name's not Winston Reedy. You know what I mean? I'm not doing straight up reggae. It was something I'm trying to add my culture. I'm trying to add my from my name Apache Indian. So as I said, it wasn't a formula to please people. It was just me sharing my life. So you can't have an opinion. It's my life. You can't change it. You can't change my ambitions, my hobbies, my love. And yes, you have to be strong to defend that here and around the world. But it's more when I went around the world, people were saying, "Hello, where are you from? Are you from the Caribbean? Are your parents mixed race?" And I'm very proud to
Yeah.
say I'm from London. I'm telling you in my songs. The only cities that got it were places like Toronto. Where every time I went to Toronto, they're mixing the same, they're growing up the same with different communities, different languages, same little problems, maybe. But music like this brings people together, right? It brings us all
100%.
together. And when I'm in Toronto, I remember you coming up on stage, from a very, very young age. You wasn't even allowed in the clubs. I don't know what you're doing in the
No,
clubs back
I wasn't.
not but when you love what you do, it's a part of your life, you defend it. I still get asked questions today, where you're from, what you're doing, why you got, why this and why that. You
So
never.
now, a lot of people this probably don't know this about you as well. That before you were a singer, an artist, you were actually a DJ. Is that correct?
Yeah, I was a DJ on a sound system, so I started building my little sound in my boxes and buying records when I was 16 up to 18, 19, 20. DJing as a DJ, but DJing on the mic.
Yeah.
Um, People that understand the sound system world, it's very similar to being just like a DJ, but you have your whole
Yeah.
thing and you clash with
Yeah.
other sound. But yeah, I mean, thank you to Birmingham. Birmingham gave me a great kind of acceptance. All the reggae crowd. It's funny because all the black crowd and the reggae crowd accepted you first, and I'm an Indian.
That's the thing, right?
But my first three songs were #1 in the reggae charts, but people knew me from the sound system days, so I kind of earned my dues, if you like.
Yeah.
driving the van,
During the
lifting the
strike.
boxes. So it didn't just pop up out of nowhere. There was a lot of history behind it. You know what I mean?
So, what was your first public performance as Apache Indian? Where was it? And please, like, walk us through it.
Wow. Well, one of the first definitely was in Wolverhampton, and it was in a
Okay.
club, the Rouge Club. And someone sent me footage of that recently. There was
No
black, white,
way.
and so it's Cheshire Cat on stage, myself on
See.
stage, and an artist from there called Hyper, I believe, and a big sound playing Skipper and Lippy. So yeah, I mean they put me on stage. It was fantastic. People still talk about that show, but brilliant, brilliant. That's where it all started right here. I think that's why people think I'm from Wolverhampton. I'm not from Wolverhampton. I'm not from Dudley.
So, did you have songs that Chuck Day and Don Raja back then, or this is before that time?
I think I had a couple of songs out, probably Movie of India. Uh, I think just Movie of India. But I mean, it was so big in the reggae charts. It was number one in Jamaica. It was number one all over here, national reggae charts. And dancers ram. And it's nice to see Asians in there, white. I mean, very, very mixed.
Yeah.
Asian
I
people say,
remember.
"You're on stage in this reggae." I said, "Listen, if I'm here, you feel comfortable here too. Right? Enjoy
Yeah.
the music vibe and don't feel
You
no
know,
way."
when I was I think like 10 or 11, I still remember this exactly day, like it was yesterday. I was in my room, and I used to share my room with my brother, and my brother came in one day, and he brought me this, and he said, check this out. And he had this tape in his hand, and it had like a black and white picture, but it had a red outlining to it, I think. I don't know if there was a bootleg, I don't know what it was in Canada, but it was a picture of you in a pancho, and that was a black and white picture, and it was the single for Movie Over India.
That's right.
And I'm like, what's this? So I popped the tape in, and I started listening, and I'm listening to this. I'm like, oh my god, what is this? What this one dedicated to all the Indian ragamuffin posses? And I'm just listening to this, and I'm like blown away, because I was born and raised in Africa, so I moved to Canada at a very young age. So like all my life, I grew up just like you. I grew up around black people. They were Africans though. So when I moved into Canada, Toronto, the area we grew up in was all Jamaican. And suddenly, for some weird reason, I had this feeling of acceptance. Like, wait a minute, there is another person out there like me that's brown, but kind of like infiltrated with the Jamaican culture. Like, what's this? And then I hear, me no want naan me roti, excited for me plate, me chutney. And I'm just like blown away. And that was the day I knew that that's it. Like, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. This is what it is. I am going to be whatever you call it, bangra muffin or ragamuffin or whatever it is. So you can just imagine, this is somebody who's telling you this now because I'm in the music business, so I can tell you this story. But imagine those little kids that never got to do the music, pursue it, but how you touched their hearts. Like,
Yeah.
just, I don't even think you can comprehend that.
No, no, I mean, it's not something I set out to do, but see, those stories, I mean, it means a lot to me that the music did that and inspired and influenced people to kind of come out their comfort zone and say, yeah, I can do this. I can be, and it always takes someone to start it off. But those kind of stories and very similar stories from right across the world in the last 30 years is what's kept me going. People even said that they were in a mixed marriage. Songs like Arranged Marriage helped, and,
Yeah.
communities were predominantly white, and you go to a cinema and you watch, Dumb and Dumber and Boom Shack-a-Lak come. It's
Yeah.
more than that. They're just proud that we have a brown face and Asian face up there representing, using his language, using his culture. Um, and for all those stories around the world, it really is, it's what keeps me going, because it's really, really touching that the music has done that and
I want to
inspired
know,
people.
Apache, and this is for myself, and I'm sure every fan out there, I want to know why, when, and how did Movie Over India even come about? Like, did you know, like, when you're obviously you're surrounded by the music, you're surrounded by your own culture, you're surrounded by reggae. How did you even think, like, I want to blend the two, but I want to blend it in such a way that it's got so much finesse, it doesn't sound forced? Like, was it just a natural thing, or did you have to kind of think about it?
We didn't really think about it that much, to tell you the truth. I love, as I said, I love reggae. And one of my favorites reggae tracks, all the reggae fans out there would know, it's called the Shanghai Shakes. You might know. Bum, ba-dum, ba-dum. So I took that and I says, you know what, boys, I want something like this, but I've got some Indian lyrics. I want to add some tabla and stuff. And people didn't really listen to me really at that time. They said, what's this guy doing? And I thought, and even the title, I mean, there wasn't a chorus on that song, Movie Over India. Every time I went home, there was a I'm from India, right? So it wasn't overthought. That I went home, there's a movie on. This is the rhythm I like. Let me just go and put this on. And and the subject was, let me go to India to make a movie. And I met
Yeah.
Robbie Mosley and all the names I've heard around the house since I've grown up, all
Yeah.
the little sounds. And again, I didn't want to release any more records. It was just that one record I wanted to be as a DJ to put it on my decks and say. And I said it took me a long time because people didn't really give me the chance. And in the end, my cousins, Simon and Diamond, they gave me the chance. So big respect to them. And it was really just the case of doing that record as a sound, play it. I released it myself in the end,
Yeah. Right.
and it went to number one. Cut a long story short, it went to number one in Birmingham for 6 weeks. The reggae charts, it went to number one in the national charts. It went to number one in all the Asian charts. Then it started going to Toronto and New York. It started getting to India. It's that one song. And then I had a call from a record label, Jetstar in London, and say, right, we want 2 more records. I haven't got any more records. I don't want to do any more records. I just wanted that one record. But they encouraged me to do 2 more records, so I did 2 more records, and the second 2 was Chuck Day and Don Raja. So 3 number one. So I'm just doing, and then the fourth, and then I got signed to Island Records, so that was a big deal. And the next song they released was Arranged Marriage, that went straight into the British charts. But it was all, by that time we had created a lot of fan base, black crowds, Asian crowds, doing all the clubs and all the, and getting into the charts. So you have to really work it. People have to remember that no internet, no phones, no nothing. It's just the strength of your record, people playing it on radio, and then people going to buy it from the shop. Real support, real way that music business runs. Now it's a bit up in the air, but it was a serious giving a part of my life to you.
Of course. And Apache, like when I have guests on the show, we talk about the legendary tracks and stuff. So we also get them to sing 1 or 2 lines of the legendary track. So if you can do us the honor of just singing a little bit of Chuck Day, I think that would really lighten up the mood over here. And people are sending fire emojis already as it is,
We say what? Number one in the Bombay chart, in the and me I tear them apart. And when me come, me bring a new style. So listen, how the people know you want to follow me. Chuck there, them a bother when the city Indian. Chuck there, ragamuffin on the style and fashion. First tune us me do, and I reach number one in the reggae charts, man, and the Indian. Chuck, oh yeah. Hansana ji, ek pila, galassi, thoda coke, nal whiskey, and have a drink with Apache.
Hey, Chuck Day, man, let me tell you, Apache, when that tune came out, I was, I think, like 12 or 13. And we used to have these day jams back in the days, daytimers, right? We call them day jams in Canada. So I used to love, like reggae music was amazing. Like I used to love Supercat, and you two were like my favorite, or like to say the only artist that I even cared to listen to. So I would go to like the day jams, and I tell the DJ like, yo, let me sing on the mic. Let me sing on the mic. And I'm a little kid, and they're looking at me like, first of all, why are you even in here? How are you in here? And no, get the hell away from here. I was like, yo, just give me one time. So one of the DJs was my brother's friend. He's like, all right, come here. Gave me the mic and put on the Chuck Day instrumental. And I just went like, it was like, I thought I was in front of like, I was like in Glastonbury or something, For me, there was about 1,100, 1,200 people. And I just sang my heart out. And the funny thing was, a lot of people didn't even, because everybody was so in us going, people didn't even realize there was somebody actually singing it live. They were just jamming to the beat. So that it wasn't even like it was going off or anything. And I was singing, and I was singing my heart away. And then it became my identity. Everybody started calling me, yo, all the black people around the neighborhood, you're like, yo, Little Apache, yo, come here, man, come here. And then they would showcase me, like, yo, sing for my people. They sing, yo, sing this guy, sing this guy. Then I did my talent shows in school in grade 9. I sang Chuck Day to a bunch of white and black kids. And you had 1,500 kids screaming Chuck Day. Like, you know what I mean? The power of the music, it just shows that there's no limitation. Language is no barrier. It's the music, the culture. It's just, it's either you resonate with the people or you don't. There's no in between.
Absolutely
Music is so powerful. So, I mean, it's just, an honor being in your presence. And every time when I come see you, or whenever I speak to you, it's that same feeling as if I was to meet you for the first time. So it just shows how much you've done for the culture. You know what I'm saying? It's not being said enough to around the world that Apache Indian, before anybody, brought the Asian culture to the mainstream, to the world. So I'd like to definitely give you a round of applause for doing that for us, because if it wasn't for you, I don't know where this whole culture would be. worldwide. Like people after you, people like Jay Sean came through. Very few artists that actually came through to the mainstream. And you could maybe you can tell us like why is it so hard for an Asian artist to cross? Why? We have talent.
Yeah, I mean, well, I mean, I don't have all the answers, but some things are just in your destiny. Some things are just, blessing from God Himself. I mean, there's no formula to being an artist. I always tell people to try to keep it real. You know what I mean? Try, like you say, you grew up with a reggae thing, you just need a bit of inspiration and you're gone. A lot of people are doing reggae or rap or stuff, and it's for the wrong reasons. There's no history. They're just copying someone. And I really, really think that with music and with a lot of things, maybe sport and maybe, a lot of things, especially in UK and outside of India, we don't support each other enough. Yeah?
That's the
We don't
problem.
we don't
Egos.
want to in the charts. We don't want to see, we want to hate on you first and we're not really support. So if you're not getting support from your own people, then someone's got to support you for, what happened with me is the black people supported me to get to #1. And then the Asian people says, you know what? He's one of us. Yeah, he's one of... So you have to almost, so I'm saying, so let's stop that. Let's support our, why don't we have, more actors on TV? Why don't we have more, can't we play football? Why do we have Asian footballers? I know Asian footballers, bad footballers. So is it
Me too.
racism? So we still have more barriers to break. You know what I mean? So we can't blame everyone. We can just say, let's break, let's continue to break, but we're not doing it together. We're not doing it together. I don't know about our culture. We're not supporting each other enough. We should do, and I think that we would get through. Because, even you've got stations like the BBC Asian Network, if they're not really supporting an Asian artist, why should BBC One pick it up? Why should Extra One FM pick it up? They're going to say, well, are your people playing it? And we're lacking this. So if an Asian kid wants to do straight up rap, hip hop, and there's no Asian factor to it, where does he go?
Well, that's
Who's
the thing
playing?
right now. If I am singing reggae music and it's not influenced by Asian sound, then our people are not accepting it because you're just stuck in the middle. You can't go to that side because they'll be like, yo, we've given you a station for your people. But if I go on this side, they're like, well, this station is dedicated for the Asians, not what you're doing. So where do you go from there? You're stuck in the
Yeah.
middle. So I think there should be a medium, like your people should champion you for the other people to pick you up.
And you shouldn't always have to add an Asian element, because not everybody wants to say an Asian element with a double O that
Yeah,
can be your... The Asian element is you, your brown face.
exactly.
You don't have to always underline, hi, I'm Asian. I mean, look at songs like Boom Shack-a-Lak. There's nothing Asian about it. So it's crossed over. And then people find out, actually, it's an Asian guy. So that comes secondary. But still, I
100%.
say, our industry are in the hands of us and our talent. So much talent has been wasted because the radio stations are not playing it. Which TV station plays anything? It's a lot of Bollywood. It's a lot of, you know what I mean? What about UK talent? What about talent from around the world? I mean, I know people in Miami to Toronto, Vancouver, and they have no platform. I did my show on Brit Asia, the Real Talk show, but I
Yeah.
started the band and I ended it with a band. Anyone, just come and sing. And we don't, I mean, which show can a young artist go on now? There's not one British Asian show in this country that you can go on and perform. There isn't one.
It's not even like British Asian. Like it's not. There's no Canadian Asian. There's no American Asian. The only place that you have talent shows that exhibit the talent is India. It's such,
Yeah.
and they got the was it the little champs? They got Things Got Talent. They got all sorts of talent. Now here we have for the mainstream, you've got Britain's Got Talent and British Idol, whatever it's called. Like you have those platforms, but the community. I mean, as far as I'm aware, there's about 2 million Asians in the country in the UK. How come we can't put together a platform and use the power of numbers to chart our artists? Like, why can't we do that? We have the numbers.
We've got a lot to learn from places like India. They have their shows, they have their talent competitions, they're supporting each other. Even me as an artist, when I go to India, there's so much love and support from the rough stars, from the mid sings, whoever you see, honey, sing. The arms are open, respect, thank you, here's the keys, go and stay at my hat. Well, we don't see that here. It's like jealousy versus hatred, something, I don't know. But let's not just look at the charts and stuff. Why don't we have like a proper award show? The black community, we have the Mobos. Where's the Asian equivalent of the Mobos? I mean, we don't have we don't have an award show that people can come perform, really recognize. Every year we have a different award show, right? So we don't have any platform in here that we've been building. I mean, the mobiles now is on TV. So by now we should have an Asian equivalent on TV, but we haven't got our act together, to say it nicely. You know, so we can
That's,
still
yeah, no, definitely,
we can change this going
definitely
forward.
right. You didn't have our act together.
I'm one of those people that want to change things. I'm passionate about being an artist. I'm passionate about the industry. I think we're missing a trick. I've called for people to come together. It hasn't happened. Of course, you know, even real talk. Let's come. Let's discuss. People are just looking for themselves. You know, the DJs are becoming bigger than the artists.
The
I
radio
know
presenters are bigger than the artists.
controversy is about being real for the future. You know what I mean? People what you know. People have to come back and look to the UK, look to Toronto, and say, you know what, we're wasting our talent. It's not being showcased to the world. The stages out there which I've been on, they're waiting for Asian talent, and it doesn't have to be Asian music. Just follow your passion, follow your dreams, get it out there, and if God is on your side, you will get through. But yeah, we need to support ourselves more.
Yes, and for the people that that are watching now, like there's certain people that say things for the sake of saying it. But when Apache's saying that he likes to support the youth, he likes to support the new talent, he's actually put that into action by opening an academy called the Apache Indian Music Academy, which allows kids off the street. Basically, so what he's doing is not only giving these kids a place, a platform to showcase their music, at the same time taking them off the street so it doesn't influence them to do illegal stuff or end up in jail or any whatever the badness that comes with street life. So it's in Handsworth. You should go check it out if you're in UK. It's almost like going and seeing Shakespeare's house. It's something legendary, built by a legend that you have to go and check out once in your lifetime at least to feel the energy. Because I've been there, I've brought some artists, I've seen some raw talent, and my God, like, blows your mind to the fact that, like Apache said, what are we doing? There's so much talent. Like, what are we doing?
And you know what? A lot of artists like myself, we speak about things and want to do this, want to change the world, and want to do that, but no one does anything. So my academy, for people that don't know, thanks for mentioning it. I started 7 years ago. It's completely free. It's set in a college. It's anyone coming in. We help them not just with music, life skills, get a job, get back into education, whatever it may be. But this is me now saying that I've spoken enough. Now it's time for action. And
100%.
That academy made sense of my life and my career. Because if I didn't do something, I'm only singing, I'm only talking. Yes, it's inspiring, but then it comes to a point where then you have to put it into action if you can. And now we have an academy, Apache Indian Music Academy in Holland. The next place we're opening one is in India. We're speaking to someone in Pune. So all the fans around the world, just to then help them, connect each other around the world, maybe have talent competitions with everyone and create something. And if I've had to go and do it myself, I've done it. It's been voted the best group in the country, the National Diversity Awards. We've had 3 people signed from the Academy to international management companies and record companies. What do I do as a context? It's for the kids, right? And it's to give back to the place that gave me so much more. So people don't think of that. Just think of the good blessings that you get by helping people. What was music for? And what are you trying to achieve? I'm going to try to achieve real change, not only in the music business, but in life itself. Look what's going on.
100%.
Things and so we have to be ready for anything at any time.
100%. 100%. And Apache, you've done you've done so much in life. You've hit the national charts. You've got songs in like over 50 Hollywood films. Like, forget Bollywood for a second. You've got your song Boom Shack-a-Lak in like commercials and Bollywood and Hollywood films. Like, you've taken your career from a small place in Birmingham, from Handsworth, to international and then some. And even still, your songs, like, I'll give you an example. I went to Jamaica on a holiday. This was like 4 or 5, maybe 10 years back. And I'm sitting by the beach in Negril, having my pineapple pina colada, and I'm just chilling. And all of a sudden, what do I hear? Boom shakalaka to all the people that want woman of my flex and and I'm just like, Apache, he's blessing me anywhere I go in the world. So it's a proud feeling coming from an Asian person to see the respect factor that you get for being Asian. You've been a positive role model. There's a lot of negativity in our culture. There's a lot of negative images that have been portrayed for being an Asian at times, but people like you who have given us a positive image around the world. So I think it's a great thing that you've done, and I think a lot of people need to follow those footsteps, and not just about singing, but also giving back to the community, which you have been doing. And as you said, you've won awards for it. But again, you're not doing it for those purposes. You're actually doing it from your heart. So I think we need more people to kind of like give back to the community and think of the future generations. Because if we stop at ourselves, how is the new generation going to grow? How are we going to sit there? How are their kids going to look up to them and be inspired by that role model that their parents were? So we need those. We need that at this time. So I think it's very applaudable for what you've done for the culture and what you still are doing.
Yeah, no, thank you very much. Music, music is life, and and through that we're promoting our culture. Music is culture. So what am I promoting through my music is culture. What people realize that when I started movie Open Your Chop There and all those songs, it didn't fit anywhere. We have to create our own lane, which is now a whole new genre of Asian urban sound. So if you don't fit somewhere in life, you make your own lane. Doesn't matter whether it's football, sport, whatever, and you don't see many Asians in that profession. You create a lane, you get through. If you're that passionate, you will do it. And it doesn't have to be just music. Don't wait for someone else to do it. Be the leader. Go inspire people. It's still it's still what you're doing, what people are doing around the world. How many Jay Seans do we have? How many Rishi Riches do we? It's not many. So there's space for us. There's not many footballers. There's not many basketball. I'm saying to people, go and chase those dreams. Go and fight for that position. It doesn't mean that you have to be the first, and I'm the first Asian to do it. Just go and contribute to the scene. Go and play. Don't let anyone stop you fulfilling your dreams. And I have young kids from all over, young people with this ringing me, and I'm speaking to even their fathers and everything. It doesn't mean that they will be artists, but let them chase their dreams. Let them
100%.
it will show, in their schoolwork, in something else, But let people at a young age be happy, fulfill their dreams. But we need guidance. And you answer me the question, why don't we support each other enough?
Well, like you said, the reason, well, I do, but you do, certain people do, but a lot of reasons why people don't support is because of ego. We're surrounded, and it's not just in the music. I think it's in our culture. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, like your parents would be like, oh, it's all about comparison in our life. Like, if I want to do music, my dad would look at me and be like, "Tu ki karta? Apne cousin no dekho, doctor ban gaya." So it's from a very young age, it's always playing against each other. Our peoples are playing us against each other to cause that division.
Yeah.
We've been falling into this British rule of divide and conquer in our own families. And that's what the problem is, because from that moment onward, suddenly if you're accomplished, you're like, yeah, I'm a doctor, so you're a singer, whatever. You know what I mean? I'm better than you. That's the culture that we live in. So we need to stop that nonsense, and we have to start uniting ourselves to say, look, at the end of the day, when the black man or the white man looks at you, he doesn't care if you're a doctor or a singer. For him, you're just a brown guy.
That's right.
You're just a brown guy. So either you're a brown guy who's, like my father told me, 5 fingers separate, only give you a slap. A fist together gives you a punch, more powerful. So not to promote violence, but I'm saying the power in uniting is much more than being divided. That's the whole point.
And something else I noticed, just as a observation, is that, as I said, when I travel, I notice things. Asian people here, the people that become famous, they can't handle fame very well. You really, in the 2 minutes of fame, if I told you some stories, you'd be shocked.
Oh, we've talked, bro. We've talked on the private.
Yeah, but when you go to India, maybe they're used to fame or something. But I look at here, wow, a bit of fame, go straight to your head, and actually it's the end of your career. It's the end of your career. But I've seen that in people. I'm shocked. In the 2 minutes of fame, they lost it. So again, you don't get blessed by that. You don't. It's not. People make.
100%, Apache. My dad told me one time. He said, "Look, son, when you're growing in your career, whether it's music, whether it's business, whatever it is, on the way up, you're gonna meet a lot of people. Be nice to them, because when you're coming down, you're gonna see the same people. So if you're not nice to them on the way up, they won't be nice to you on the way down. So you got to keep this balance. You got to respect everybody. You are no better than anybody that does 9 to 5. As a matter of fact, it's even harder to hold a 9 to 5 job, because once you finish that 9 to 5 job, you come home and you're at job again, because it's a family life. So everybody that works and grafts is no better than anybody that does something else. If I think I'm no better than you, if you're a doctor, you're no better than me, because this is my craft and I got to feed my family, and that's your craft and you feed your family. But at the end, it comes down to hard work. We all work for our money. We all work for our families. So nobody's better than each other. So I think what we need to understand that, and then embed that. Okay, maybe it's too late for us now, but embed that into your kids, into the youth, into the new generation, so they don't grow up with those egotistic mind frames and ruin whatever we have, the little bit left in our culture, in our community.
That's right. That's right. So that's why I say a lot of it depends on this new generation. So our jobs are to kind of, give as much as inspiration as we can. Our parents came from India and we were born here. And so our lives are different to our young people. It's a different story out there right now for the young people. I mean, I work with a lot of young people, a lot of hardships going on, lack of jobs, money, whatever. So surely it's a time to, as I said, extra support's needed, extra guidance. And you know what? Our people are so proud that they'd have a problem with their children or something and they won't tell you. They'd rather cover it up, Tika, and while he's suffering. So a lot of families are broken, but yet they will show you a smile. There's no harm in asking for help. There's no harm in speaking. We deal with mental health, we deal with a lot of things, and it's just come from just keeping quiet. No more time to keep quiet. Speak to those people that you trust. Speak in confidence, and that's what my academy is all about. And that's how we move forward, by speaking, by talking, by communication, by maybe saying the things that you can't say to somebody else. So I'm trying to get there with that. And with music, I am going to be doing a lot more. Maybe a talent show. We're talking about a record label. We're talking about lots of things.
100%. And I'd love to be involved, 100%.
I mean, I've been asked to be a judge on one of these big talent shows on this TV.
Of course, man, of course.
We need something a bit more. I mean, it doesn't have to go as Asian, but we need Asian elements. We need, when you in community and society, it will help us. When you see Boom Shack-a-Lak now on this new TV commercial, the
link side, yeah.
Everyone's been calling me, but more that they're proud. Look at that, it's on TV. We know it's in an Indian face. So brilliant. Little things help. Once we have more of that, it won't be an issue. It starts with us. Let's start right there. Big respect to all the DJs and everyone in India, because everyone sent me messages. Everyone's a rapper on the streets. Right?
Yeah, man. The culture has gone huge. And, they talked about, we were having a discussion about a Punjabi rap, like, well, this person started Punjabi rap or this person influenced Punjabi rap. And my answer to them was, mate, first of all, what is Punjabi rap? It's a rhythm flow. It's either you're singing or it's a rhythm flow. And the first person to do that worldwide was Apache Indian. You can call, rap or reggae. The point is, it's the rhythm, the way you're flowing. Da, 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 da. It's not melodious, it's chatting. That's rap, if you want to call it. So the first person to ever done that was Apache Indian. You might have taken that and kind of molded it into your own style, but never forget and never stop giving homage to somebody who's actually pioneered that style. So people are like, oh, big shout out going out to Bohemia. He's taken that Tupac Punjabi style and come. But when it comes to like the pioneer of rap Punjabi music, that's Apache Indian. Or people like Achanak, even back in the days, they were doing Achanak, like there is the rhythm that people were rapping on. So you can't take that away from the people that have created it. So it's not only reggae music that you've created, you've actually created a genre of music that never existed before. And you've given birth to all these people.
I mean, with that genre, when I released my first records, that genre didn't exist. So sometimes go to the reggae, it wouldn't go to the Asian chart, it just left in the middle of nowhere. So that's the risk to take. But that's the lane you created, which is today is a genre. But just some advice, I mean, so much advice to these young people from India every time they stop me. Two things. One, like we talk about Bohemia, we talk about these artists, which is great. I always say they're big in the world, but it'd be nice for non-Asians to know them. Maybe they don't want to do that, but I don't get comfortable in the zone. Maybe someone can also say, oh, I love that artist from India, but no one says that. So they live no disrespect, it's because they do a great job. But they live. We all know bubble, if you like, which is fine. But outside that, no one's asking. And the second thing is that people have to understand that rap and reggae really comes from is talking about issues, talking about things that are happening. So in
yeah, 100%
comes from. But talk about something. Are we talking about poverty? Are we talking about corruption? Are we talking about how you could change India? We're not talking about. I don't really hear that. I can't understand it all. But I wish they would really touch and wake the politicians.
100%.
Something needs to happen in India. Happen with music. Music's always been a bit hairy and happy, which is great, Bollywood. but let's get serious and let's really hit the issues. Let's talk about them and let's cause some controversy. I mean, I spoke about arranged marriage. I spoke about a few things, AIDS, drink problems when I was growing up. Now there's things to talk about. We have problems with guns, knives. We have problems with drugs.
Of course.
So face some issues and use music, you know, as that powerful tool that it is, and you can change life right there.
100% Apache. And you know, me and you, we talked about this. We can go on for another 2 hours talking about it, but I have to drive to Heathrow to pick up somebody, so I have to make a run. But before you go, boss, two things. One thing is any advice you want to give to the youth, and second thing, you have to end the show with a little bit of me one gal. Yo, that's standard. otherwise it's not civilized.
First of all, thank you. It's great to be on the show with you. You know, I mean, big respect to what you're doing for the community and for the industry. The advice, you know, in this time, stay safe. You know, I mean, listen to the rules and everything. If you're involved with music and anything creative, make it inspiring. Even if you're doing a painting, go inspire and be inspired. Remember that we have to still contribute not only to your life and your career, but to the industry as a whole. We're still early stages. So let's blow up the world. I mean,
100%.
we said the time has come and for Apache to find one gal and to get married. But listen, Ragamuffin tell everybody me want me arrange marriage from me mama and daddy me want gal. I'm from Jalandhar city me want gal. I said that's only Kudi me want gal. I want to look after me want gal. Sweet like jalebi.
Cheese! Big respect going out to Apache Indian. Thank you so much for joining us. Keep safe, keep blessed, give love to the fams, and we'll link up soon.
Big respect.
One love, my brother. Take care. One love, my brother. Peace. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. There was Apache Indian, the legend. We could have gone on forever. I love that man. So much inspiration, but we're going to continue this on Sunday. One love. Thank you so much for joining us today. Peace.